Your ability to remain unbothered might be the most underrated superpower you'll ever develop. In a world where everything seems designed to provoke a reaction, the person who can maintain their composure holds an unfair advantage. This isn't about suppressing emotions or pretending problems don't exist. It's about something far more powerful, developing the kind of inner strength that allows external circumstances to bounce off you, rather than penetrate your peace. It's about creating a buffer between what happens to you and how you choose to respond. Think about the last time something relatively minor completely derailed your day. Maybe it was a rude comment, an unexpected bill, or a plan that fell through. Now, consider how different your experience would have been if you possessed the ability to acknowledge that disruption without being emotionally hijacked by it. That's the skill we're exploring today: how to cultivate such a solid internal foundation that external events lose their power to shake you. This is about developing such profound emotional intelligence that you choose your reactions rather than having them chosen for you. Let's break down the 5 essential principles that will help you master this transformative approach to life's inevitable challenges. 1. Recognize your emotional triggers. The path to becoming unbothered begins with radical self-awareness. You need to understand exactly what pushes your buttons before you can deactivate them. When something bothers you, there's always a deeper reason behind your reaction. It's rarely about the immediate circumstance, and almost always about what that circumstance represents to you. A critical comment might trigger insecurities about your competence. A friend canceling plans might activate old feelings of rejection or abandonment. Start paying attention to patterns in what disturbs your peace. Keep a mental or physical note of situations that consistently throw you off balance. Ask yourself, what's really bothering me here? What underlying fear or insecurity is this triggering? This self-awareness creates a crucial space between stimulus and response. When you understand why something bothers you, you gain the power to choose how you engage with that trigger. You transform from reactive to responsive. Remember, triggers reveal wounds that need healing. Each time something bothers you excessively, you've discovered valuable information about yourself, an opportunity for growth, rather than a reason for distress. 2. Develop emotional detachment. Emotional detachment doesn't mean not caring. It means caring without becoming entangled. It's the ability to observe a situation, acknowledge its importance, and still maintain your emotional equilibrium. Think of it like watching a movie. You can be fully engaged in the story, even moved by it, without forgetting that you're ultimately just an observer. You can feel the emotions without becoming completely consumed by them. This detachment requires practicing what psychologists call cognitive distancing, the ability to step back from your thoughts and feelings and observe them without judgment. Instead of thinking, "I am angry," you shift to, "I notice I'm experiencing anger." This subtle linguistic shift creates powerful psychological space. When something potentially bothersome occurs, practice pausing and asking, "Do I need to absorb this emotion? Will carrying this feeling serve my highest good?" Often, you'll find the answer is no. In those moments, visualize the emotion as a cloud passing through the sky of your mind, acknowledged but not invited to stay. With practice, this emotional detachment becomes your default response to potential disturbances, allowing you to engage with challenging situations while maintaining your inner peace. 3. Cultivate a zoomed-out perspective. Most things that bother us feel significant because we're viewing them through a microscope rather than a telescope. When you zoom out to see the bigger picture, today's botheration often reveals itself as tomorrow's forgotten triviality. Develop the habit of asking perspective-generating questions when something threatens to disturb your peace. Will this matter in 5 years? Is this worth sacrificing my peace over? How would someone I deeply respect respond to this situation? This zoomed-out perspective doesn't invalidate your immediate experience, but it does contextualize it. It reminds you that most daily irritations are temporary waves on the much larger ocean of your life. Consider keeping a perspective journal, where you record things that bothered you significantly in the past. Reviewing this periodically delivers a humbling reminder of how quickly seemingly major disruptions fade into insignificance. Yesterday's crisis often becomes today's barely remembered anecdote. This broader perspective becomes a protective shield, preventing minor disturbances from penetrating your inner calm. When you consistently view life through this wider lens, fewer things reach the threshold required to truly bother you. 4. Master strategic response over reaction. Being unbothered isn't about becoming passive, it's about becoming strategic. Instead of reacting immediately from emotion, you learn to respond deliberately, from wisdom. When something potentially bothersome occurs, practice implementing the pause, assess, respond method. Pause, to create a deliberate break between the trigger and your response. This might be a deep breath, a quick walk, or simply counting to 10. To assess, ask yourself, what's the most effective way to address this situation? What response aligns with my values and long-term goals? Respond, to act from that place of clarity, rather than from the initial emotional surge. This approach transforms challenges from emotional threats into strategic situations, requiring thoughtful navigation. You move from, "this bothers me," to, "this requires my skillful attention," a subtle but profound shift that preserves your peace while still acknowledging reality. Sometimes, the most powerful response is no response at all. Not everything deserves your energy or attention. Learning when to engage and when to simply observe and let go is an essential component of the unbothered mindset. 5. Strengthen your identity foundation. Perhaps, the most crucial aspect of becoming unbothered is developing such a solid sense of self that external judgments and circumstances lose their power to define you. When your self-worth is internally generated rather than externally validated, you become remarkably resistant to being bothered. Comments, criticisms, and challenges no longer threaten your identity because that identity stands on a foundation you've built, not one dependent on others' approval. Strengthen this foundation by regularly reconnecting with your core values, celebrating your growth journey, and acknowledging your inherent worth, apart from your achievements or others' opinions of you. Practice self-validation through daily affirmations that reinforce your self-determined identity. My worth is inherent, not earned. I define my value, not circumstances or others' opinions. I am separate from the things that happen to me. When your sense of self is this secure, external disturbances lose their power to penetrate your core. You can engage with them objectively, without feeling that they somehow diminish who you are. As you implement these 5 principles, you'll notice a profound shift in how you move through the world. Situations that once would have ruined your day barely register as noteworthy. People who previously held emotional power over you find their influence dramatically diminished. This transformed relationship with external circumstances creates a freedom that few people ever experience. You become less reactive, more present, and significantly more effective in every area of life. When you're not constantly diverting energy to processing disturbances, you have more resources available for growth, creativity, and meaningful connection. Your relationships improve because you bring a centered presence rather than emotional volatility. Your decision-making is enhanced because it stems from clarity rather than reactivity. The unbothered mindset doesn't develop overnight. It's cultivated through consistent practice and a willing patience to grow beyond your current emotional patterns. Each time you choose not to be bothered by something that would have previously disturbed you, you strengthen this new way of being. Becoming unbothered isn't about becoming detached from life, it's about engaging with life from a place of such profound inner security that external circumstances lose their power to disrupt your peace. You participate fully in reality without being emotionally hijacked by it. This approach to life represents true emotional freedom, the ability to experience the full range of human feelings while never becoming a prisoner to them. It's about choosing your emotional experiences rather than having them thrust upon you by circumstances beyond your control. If something in your life is consistently bothering you, consider it an invitation to grow deeper in one of these 5 principles. Each disturbance becomes not an obstacle but an opportunity, a chance to strengthen your unbothered foundation. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this concept. Have you mastered the art of remaining unbothered, or is this an ongoing challenge? What situations test your ability to maintain your composure? Share your experiences in the comments below. Remember, true power lies not in never being disturbed, but in choosing how long you allow that disturbance to last. Subscribe for more insights that help you navigate life with greater wisdom and inner peace.